Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by thelines.com. Coming to you from the West Coast, Josh Lander, joined by Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. As always, and we've got a ton of NBA games here on Wednesday, right before Thanksgiving Day break. So we are going to be looking at player props in this episode. Also have best bets in the other episode, which we're bringing you both each and every weekday moving forward. So continue to follow along and subscribe to that page. Also want to remind you, we have the partnership with BetMGM still live for you right now. If you do sign up for an account, if you don't have one yet, use the code TheLinesYT50. That will get you up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't cash. It also gets you $50 in bonus bets regardless. So a nice little deal there to get into the BetMGM. And you should have an account. If BetMGM is available in your area, you should have an account on this major sportsbook to make sure you can shop these lines appropriately. But Nate, let's go ahead and jump right into your first play a prop. The best player on the 76ers, Tyrese Maxey, yeah?
Yes, that's
Okay,
correct. You're just referencing that. Tyrese Maxey over 22 and a half points. Absolutely. I mean, the last couple games, he's been limited by the hamstring. So it's kind of looked like Jared McCain was the best player on the team. That's what we were referencing there. But look, I like both these guys to score against the Rockets, who are just in a horrible spot. Most teams, you would just absolutely fade them. I don't think you can do that with the Rockets, given how young they are, how Ime likes to ride people and is going to make sure that they give a full effort here. But yeah, they just played in OT in Minnesota and have to fly to Philadelphia for this back-to-back. So I don't think that their defense is going to be up to its usual snuff here. And the Sixers on 2 days rest, we saw Maxey get up to 30 minutes on Sunday, even a blowout. So they're not being as careful with the hamstring as when he only played 20 in his return. Super value the next game for him, right? He was only at 14 and a half points, and we got that easily. I mean, people laddered it up to 20, 25. He gets 26 points. I think you can ladder to 25 here as well, because even when Houston's been at full strength, like, they haven't been able to stop this dude. 32 points per game, 29% usage his last three. Two of those three with Embiid, the one without, he gets 42 points on 35% usage. Their stoppers, Brooks played 41 minutes. Fred played 45 minutes. Amin Thompson, 38 minutes last night. Şengün, 42 minutes. And, I mean, he ain't much of a rim protector. Anyway, Jalen Green is still sick and can only go 23 minutes. So dealing with both of these quick guards who are going to be everything for the Sixers tonight, I don't think it's happening. That's why I like Maxey and McCain to go like 20 plus. That would get you plus money. You can just take McCain at 15 plus and get even money here. I think that's a very conservative parlay and a good way to attack this game because, I mean, Embiid, Paul George, Kyle Lowry are out, I should mention off top, but any other team in the NBA market, right, would not be plus 5.5 at home, given what I outlined with the Houston rest disadvantage here. But that is where we are at with the 76ers. They just have nothing. And I'm not going to come in and back them as home dogs. I don't care what the situation is, but I will take these two guys as their really only offensive options and to just get buckets and keep them relatively competitive.
Yeah, I think that's very reasonable. I mean, the points are there for the primary ball handler against Houston. That's kind of how you attack them. I would agree. They're very good at limiting assists, but that is in part because they are not bringing any help on the ball, the primary ball handler. So we'll probably see the Dylan Brooks on Tyrese Maxey. I think Jared McCain points is a fine play as well. But if you're looking at my next bet, I'm giving you two because Nate doesn't quite like the McCain bet as much, and I can respect that. We have a respectful discourse on this podcast and show so that we can at least get the best angles that we can find. I just don't agree that McCain is going to get 8.5 rebounds and assists over. So I'm taking an under on that. Bonus pick two, I like Cat on the points again against Dallas over 24.5. Until you stop that, man, that train is rolling, baby. So I'm going to take Cat. But the McCain under real quick. I mean, Dallas is allowing the the Rockets allowing the sixth most points per game to the point guard position. They are not allowing assists. They are the number one team limiting assists. McCain has gone under in 12 of 13 this season. So that's not, you need more than that. But let's just start there. 12 of 13 that he has gone under 9 rebounds and assists. He's gone under in 7 of 8 when he has 30 plus minutes, which he's going to get another 35 plus tonight. It's fine with that. He's gone under once without Paul George and JoJo. The one time that he went over, He didn't also have Tyrese Maxey against the Cavs and went over in that one, playing like 39 minutes as the only ball handler back there. Got a good amount of assists to help him get over, but he hasn't gotten the rebounds no matter who's in the game other than once this season. So I just want to point that out. I have no problem with the rebounds. This Rockets team has been a good rebounding team and a good limiting assist team as well on defense. With Maxey in there, love it. The shooting guard thing. This is kind of like how I see it. Like, he's now the shooting guard on this team when Maxey's on the floor, and that's fine. That means he's probably not going to get quite as many spot ups as he might want, but it does mean he'll be able to drive into the lane. Who's he kicking it to? Like, I guess if Kelly Oubre is open for three, that's one thing, that's fine, but that's not what Houston allows. They're not going to play off of Kelly Oubre to double Jared McCain. They're just going to leave one of their super athletic defenders on Jared McCain and have him go one-on-one. And if he wants to do that, then maybe he'll score. He's a really good shooter. He's good at the stop and pop on the mid-range as well. I have no qualms with his offensive scoring game. Don't see him as an assist man. And if you just wanted to take under on the dimes, I'm okay with that. You're going to eat a lot of juice to just take under 5. So I added the rebounds because it's also not something he's done. The rebound chances aren't even there for him. So I'm good with it. I understand the usage is high. This is a dangerous play for a man that's going to be out there playing almost as much, if not as much, as Tyrese Maxey, and will be the second focal point of the offense. Totally understand it. Staying away from the points. Love the under on that stuff. If you want cat stuff, the man is on an absolute tear since he basically figured out how to play in this offense like 12 games ago. Is averaging nearly 30 points per game. This 24.5 just seems disrespectful against Dallas, who is giving up the 6th most points per game to centers. They're not guarding them. You'd think that with 2 of them, they'd be much better at defending centers than they are, and they're just not. And for a couple of reasons, obviously the way that they play defense, it's pretty versatile, but they're also giving up stuff sort of like in the corners and down on the baseline and in the dunker spot, and that's how these guys get points. But Cat's just going to be driving down the middle of the lane, who's ever out there, or he'll be popping those threes. So I like him with the usage that he's at to get 25 tonight.
No, yeah, I see where you're at with McCain. Like, he is a pure scorer. Yeah, I'd just be scared off by seeing somebody's going to play 40 minutes. Like, that's what you got to project him for. Like, he could stumble into these stats. So I would go small on it. And I tend to be an over better anyway, and love his points here. 15 points has been the baseline since he's gotten any kind of workload. And the thing, one of those games without Embiid against Cleveland, 10 assists. So that would be what scares me. Without Embiid or Maxey, I think.
Right. Or Paul George.
It is just that he gets going as a playmaker against a really tired team, as I outlined. Though Utah Jazz be tired in terms of like, so Russ Westbrook over 9.5 rebounds, assists is plus money, plus 110 at MGM. We're on blowout watch here. Denver is minus 9.5 in Utah, which is on a back-to-back, played a pretty up-and-down game last night against the Spurs, and the Nuggets are coming off a Mike Malone call-out. He considers himself a master motivator, and so he basically called his team soft after getting blown out on Monday, which, it was a very soft effort, but you mentioned Westbrook was the only one giving that full effort, right? And he was out there getting stats, getting buckets against the Knicks. He also got buckets the last time the Nuggets played a close game against Dallas, but no peripherals. But you look at their last 2 blowouts, he goes for 14, 7, 11 in 24 minutes off the bench. He goes for 12, 10, 14, 200th career triple-double off the bench. No Jokic in that one at Memphis. But, now we're talking about the Utah Jazz. Like, these are much easier matchups to just pile up stats. Jazz are 8th worst defensive rating in their last 4 here, actually playing at the 8th fastest pace all of a sudden, giving up the 6th most assists. They are most free throws allowed in that span, but if you look at their back-to-back numbers, they just don't try. So they give up 9 fewer free throw attempts per game, leading to more assists, leading to teams shooting over 50% against them on back-to-backs. They gave up 30 assists per game and 12.5 OREBs per game on back-to-backs last year. And Russ, he splits time with Christian Brown at this point, but his potential assists are triple or more than Christian, right? He's actually out there playmaking. He had some poor regression. I mentioned that smaller line against Dallas, but he had 10 potential assists in that one. Jamal Murray, 9 potential assists, somehow wound up with 11 actual assists. So we're just playing the numbers here with Russ. He is out there to get those peripheral stats. I know he's been scoring lately, but that's what I'm going to rely on, is him just hustling for these other stats.
Yeah. I have no desire to necessarily add the points to that one. What you're saying here, and yeah, blowout watch or not, like Russ is somewhat impervious to how the game is going. Russ going Russ, whatever the score or the moment of the game is, even to be honest, to his detriment at times. But when he finds the right spots, like perhaps this one against a bad transition defense, against a team that is bad at limiting guards from everything, yeah, like he's going to be flying all over. This is a great game for him, a great spot for him. So let me go to another great spot in that OKC Golden State Warriors game. I'm not sure how many people are familiar with Steph Curry's history versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. He kills them, absolutely kills them, whether it's the playoffs or not. Loves killing this team, and in part, I think it's because like he shouldn't. Like the way that they defend should limit him just as well as anybody ever, and it does not work. So I like him at 23.5 points. I think that's easy. I know he's questionable tonight. He's playing tonight. He didn't play very much against Brooklyn for a reason. I'll talk about that in a sec. But 23.5 points is great. I kind of like the dimes for him too. He got 7 last time. They were at 5.5. For him to get 6+ combined with him to get 20 or 25 points, the 20 plus points and 6+ assists for Steph is plus 104 on DraftKings. Shop that around too. I actually didn't have time to check most books on that, but this man kills OKC. Come on now. Like the last 7 games versus this team in the regular season, 37 minutes a game, 34 points per game in that time frame. His shooting splits are about 50-50 in that time frame as well, about 50-55. 3-point field. Well, sorry, the 3-point is about 47%. Field goal percentage up above 55%. Really good numbers, even for Stephen Wardell Curry. The minutes, I think, are the big thing here. And this is what I've been watching, because we were talking about that. You tried to call Steph Curry under the other day, and it should have hit, to be honest. It really, really should have. And then they were like, oh, well, we're going to bring him in for the fourth quarter to try to win this game because we're not beating. And maybe what we should have taken into consideration with that game is Dennis Schroeder kills every team that Steph Curry is on. Dennis Schroeder has a weird Steph Curry almost fetish where he's like, as soon as I'm playing this dude, I need to prove to him and the world that I'm the best. I don't know. He just loves doing it. And he's got crazy good numbers, and he carried that team with 30+ points and dimes and everything. So that was the reason that Steph under failed. But the look was for the fact that they're now playing OKC. Then Minnesota, like 3 times in the next week. They play Denver. It's nasty. They play Memphis in there as well. It's just a really tough schedule coming up. This is one that I still think they want to win. It's at home. And then is this one at home? My bad. I thought this was still at home. Yeah, this is at home because it's at the end of the night. And then they're on the road for the next 2. They got Phoenix in there as well. It's going to be a nasty boy schedule. But Steph, the thing about the minutes is they tried to sit him even before they were blowing out Brooklyn. They already tried to do what you predicted, which was let's keep him to 30 or fewer minutes. And he played 29 despite coming in the fourth quarter and really trying to bring them back single-handedly, which is what did us in. But either way, like, the attempt was there and the thought process was there. And this is not a game where he's going to be doing that, right? He played 37 minutes against them last time. And the teams that he's playing more than 30 to 32 minutes against are the ones that Kerr knows he needs. Like, Kerr is playing this conservatively with his minutes before they're blowing teams out. He's just like, you're only getting 6 minutes in the first, and then you're going to get 8 minutes in the second, or vice versa. And it doesn't matter. You're playing 14 in the first half. You're not playing, close to 24 minutes in the first half or whatever. And they're trying. So they're not going to be doing that this time. His rotation is going to be back up to what it was. And I think that's going to be a big reason for it. I can't give you matchup data to tell you that this is a good bet, because the Thunder limit everything Steph wants to do, whether it's get out in transition or play off the pick and roll, come off of screens as well, the dribble handoff. Whatever you want to do, this team is really good at stopping it other than the spot up. And Steph ain't going to be found alone ready to spot up. So it doesn't really matter. But all of that stuff be damned. This dude loves playing this team, and I'm going to take him to keep hitting those threes because there's no defense for a 35-foot three. That's just what it is. So.
Yeah, he gets up for every big matchup, it seems. Yeah, that was why I was fading the Nets as not a big matchup, and everything was going according to plan. Yeah. He had 14 PRA at half, and then just goes bonkers because they needed him to. That might be the one wrinkle that maybe he had to do a little more heavy lifting. It is the 4th game in 6 nights, but I mean, this dude is not human. Like you said, listed with the knee soreness. He's definitely going to go. You look at every big game on their schedule recently. His baseline has been well above this, like 36-7, 37-9. 26-6 against the Clippers. So I mean 20-6 is definitely a good baseline here, because OKC limits everything else. Yeah, you have to have a cheat code like Steph to get it going, and you can bet he's going to do that tonight.
Yep, for sure. And that's why I also like him to get 6 dimes. I mean, he's gonna have the ball in his hands so much, and if they do decide to double him on a few plays here and there, he's finding people for sure. So I like that look. But either way, that is all the time we have in play of props. Continue to follow along. We also have best bets up in a separate episode, and we got those NFL play of props for Thursdays, Thanksgiving games as well. So check that out. Until we see you next, happy betting.